This is YNB Collins, and I'm joined with
Brother Wolf here.
We are the Benchmark Podcast. We try to go ahead and take a little bit of critical thinking and life experience, and Collins has to tell you how he failed again, and hopefully you won't fail again just in case you decide to do this. Didn't tell my brother anything, but I think he's going to get a good laugh at me. So, you ready?
Sure.
So, I sell random things on eBay. I believe in recycling, reducing, reusing, all that stuff. And if I can get some money for it too, that's a boon. You agree with that, right?
Yeah.
So what happens when you go ahead and find an old jacket and you go ahead and roll it up and you got it packaged real nicely and you send it out, and then your buyer sends you a picture of an open envelope with postal tape on it? Well, you don't use postal tape because you're not the post office. And they're saying, we want our money back because we didn't get anything. How do you think that goes?
So you sent it.
Yeah, no, I sent it. I did not send the empty package. Yeah, no, I sent it.
You sent it, but the buyer says that they didn't receive anything.
And when they showed me the picture of the envelope, there was postal tape on it. So I can't prove that they didn't go ahead and open it up and take it out. But looking at it and knowing how the post office works, if a package gets damaged in transit, typically speaking, they use postal tape to show that we're the ones that did it, not anybody else.
Right.
And postal tape is typically masking tape that's got U.S. Postal Service, the Eagle logo.
It's got the certified,
Yeah,
post office logo and stuff on it.
Yeah. So what do you think happens?
The post office, you contact them. Oh, well, I don't know. Did you send it certified? I don't know. Like, this would be the kind of situation in which, thankfully, it's been a long time since I used eBay to sell anybody anything. Like, I remember when I was a much younger Brother Wolf, and I used to deal with Magic the Gathering cards. I once sold somebody a Magic the Gathering card over eBay. I did do that. But that was somewhat years ago, before eBay and PayPal even merged. Like,
oh, geez.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. But I don't know. I think I saw one time that they had something whereas isn't eBay supposed to like have some kind of guarantee up to a certain amount of money of reimbursement for some situations like this?
For the buyer, I am a seller.
So
I'm trying to let you work it out just to see, and I'm proving a point while I do this.
So this is what I would imagine would happen is you've gotten your money from the buyer.
Correct.
And you sent the item out, or eBay believes you sent the item out at least.
You believe me at least, right?
Yes.
All right, I'm about to give it.
Yeah, I don't mean it that way. I mean it the other way, like from the customer's point of view. And so with that being said, since eBay is saying that they would reimburse the customer back their money for the item as long as it's under the eBay amount of the how much they guarantee. I think
the
that
guarantee
might be like
and
50.
certain conditions are met. Like, you did do this, you did do that. You didn't go through an outside channel.
Right,
so forth
right,
and so
right.
on.
So that's what I would imagine happen. I would imagine you have your money, and the customer gets their money back up to a certain amount of money, whatever eBay reimburses on official transactions. Is that something similar to what happened?
Close, but the point being is that refund has to go from somewhere. And just like I know, because what did you major in?
Business.
Mm-hmm. And what's one of the cardinal rules what a business does? They pay forward what?
They pay for it with
all costs.
All costs, yeah.
So what ends up happening is I'm like, hey, because when the customer hit, I was like, hey, I promise you I sent this because they opened up a complaint. Like, and I'm like, I get that. You were supposed to get an item. You didn't
Duh,
get your item.
I mean, yeah, I understand it from their point of view.
So assuming that they're not liars,
Right.
they did what? They opened up a complaint, and that's fine. And I contacted them a few times, like, hey, I see that you're saying you didn't get this. I promise you, I sent the item up. Obviously, it wasn't sent with postal tape, so it had to be damaged in transit some kind of way. I'm sorry about this. Let me go ahead and figure out what I got to do. Contact eBay. I have to refund the seller. Because I use USPS Ground Advantage as my shipping, that means that in order to get a refund, I need to produce the receipt of the date of the transaction. Which you remember, when you go mail something off, you don't care about that receipt. You throw that shit away immediately.
Right.
Guess who don't have that receipt? Guess who, when he went back and tried to find it, and the clerk remembered them, and they tried to look in the system, and they still couldn't find it with the exact amount. And I'm like, look, remember when you did? Couldn't find it. And then, I'm not done. And then on top of that, when I'm going through it, I have to find the receipt of the transaction that happened at the post office, and I have to have the receipt to show the value of the item that I went ahead and had in transit.
Oh my God. Those items could be so like 20 years old. That I don't know what jacket that was, but
It was a windbreaker from horrible years ago. It doesn't.
yeah.
And that's part of the
Wow.
reason of eBay is that what are you trying to do? Sell old crap that you don't have receipts for.
Right.
And that's what the post office said, is that you need to provide that receipt. I said, well, one more time. I didn't hear you. I did the Bernie Mac. He said, what? So what? I couldn't hear you. He said, so funny. He said, say it again. I needed to provide 2 receipts. I needed to provide the transaction receipt, which is gone, and the receipt for that. And what I'm hoping is, because I didn't even go this far, what I'm hoping is that the eBay transaction will be receipt for what it is. That's at least proof of some kind of standard. Because you can't put a price on a used item per se. Well, I mean, I can. Used condom? No, it's not worth it. That's negative dollars. Don't want it. You know what I mean? But, a old mason jar, man, I could go ahead and clean it up and, use this to store this. You can use
So
screws
what
or
I was
whatever.
going to say, part of what I was going to say earlier is, yes, that's not the best look on you, but at the same point in time, this is something in which the post office needs to work on. Most places nowadays, Walmart, Walgreens, Target, the list goes on and on. Most places have a system, and it doesn't cost them much, in which they can text message you a copy of your receipt when you do it through the computer. And I've been recently to the post office where my wife sent off some stuff to a friend of hers that no longer lives in New Orleans, and they wanted some New Orleans of stuff that you can't
Flair,
get here.
memorabilia.
Yeah, the food.
Are they sharing?
And so she sent her that, and at the same point in time, I happened to notice on the thing it didn't offer the option of a digital copy of the receipt. Most places say we'll email it to you, we'll text it to you, something like that. Post office, no. So I'm like, what are we doing still back in the Stone Ages at this point? I mean, that's what I'm saying. So yes, I get that wasn't the best look for you, brother, but at the same point in time, it says something about the post office, because there are other ways to do this nowadays.
So let me defend the post office. When I finish the transaction, so what I do is I do the label broker system in eBay, and it's great. So what I do is, I say, okay, my item is this much price. I say a set shipping price. So in the shipping price, I include handling, the gas to go ahead and drive to the post office, the envelope costs, the bubble wrap, whatever, all the handling stuff.
I didn't
and the
know you
shipping.
can modify the shipping price with eBay.
Yeah,
So,
you can go ahead and make it so that the buyer pays exact
yeah,
costs
of what
or-
it costs
yeah.
to ship. Yeah.
I go ahead and put it a little bit more to make sure that all those other things are covered, because people forget that you got to buy bubble wrap, you got to buy envelopes, you got to
Right.
buy boxes, you got to do all this kind of stuff. But the thing that I really like is when I go ahead and do is once I buy it, I say purchase shipping label and I click it. And what it does is it gives me a QR code, and I walk up to the post office guy, and they take the little laser scanner, pop it, and then all of a sudden what will happen is they'll have me a printout. It'll be my address, their address, and it's a sticker, and they put it right on there. That way, there's no questioning that I can't possibly mistake a 1 for a L or a L for a I or transpose letters because I was tired and I didn't see the right thing. No, whatever's in the system is where it goes. And that's why I do it that way, to protect myself. Now, to defend the post office, when it came time for receipt, I just printed it out. And then, oh well, boom, crumpled it up, threw it away. I had the option for print and email or print or email, and I did not do it. This is one of Collins's failures, so that way you don't have to go ahead and do it. So now what I've learned is I'm going to go ahead and have that email sent to myself, so that way I at least have one step of coverage for myself. Like I said before, I'm saying this so that way you don't have to fail like I have. So yes, it wasn't that much, but when you consider that the jacket went for like $10 and then the shipping was like $10, you're telling me you wouldn't like an extra $20 in your pocket right now?
Absolutely.
And guess what? I lost that 20 and had to go ahead and pay for all the lost shipping and handling, because all it's still gone. I'm not re-getting, you're not sending me back a torn envelope and some tape and some bubble wrap. So all that stuff is lost, and I couldn't do anything about it. And that's why I wanted to go ahead and say anything. So number one, if you go ahead and use the post office, get the digital receipt. Just make it that much easier for yourself. That way, and there's somebody listening right now that's going to say the same thing I said. But I have over 793 unread emails, right? There's a search function.
So here's the funny thing. I
Why
just
are you laughing at me already?
No, it's not at you. It's at myself. So I don't know how many people know this, but Gmail has a limit to how much emails you can put in Gmail.
Oh, yeah, no. I am over limit right now. I need to go ahead and delete a bunch of things.
Myself to include. I'm over the limit. Also, I was like, I didn't know they had a limit.
Oh, yeah, no. Mary J. Blige, Love Without a Limit. I've been pressing the delete button, and, I'm like, I need this. I need the. Why did this spam come through? And one thing that I think everybody hates, yes, I realize I'm out of space, but if you send me another email about the fact that I'm out of space, I'm going to even have less space. You twit. Oh, that pisses me off to no end. And then the first part, and then what makes it worse is that you're like in a university system and they send the email and it bounces back. It sends another email. Stupid mother. Oh.
Because, I went through and I deleted so many emails that had been my backlog of emails. And then all of a sudden, come to find out, like, maybe a day later, it said, you're at your limit of... I was like, oh!
Yeah, I'm there right now. But the point being is that maybe you just need to have an eBay-only email account.
Right.
Maybe you need to go ahead and unsubscribe to so many unnecessary newsletters that you're not getting in the first place. Maybe that should be one of the things for the new year, right?
Right.
But the long story short is, number one, if you're sending stuff in the post office, make sure you have pictures of things. Number two, when you send it through the post office, get that digital receipt. And Monica, thank you so much. You've taught me this one. CYA. What does CYA mean?
Cover your
ass. Mm-hmm. Pics and receipts. That's what you need to have. And the other one is this: is that most people don't do it. I know you haven't done it. I know I didn't do it. Do you know what the terms of service and agreement are for eBay and what the arbitration process is? No, the fuck you don't. Quit trying to pretend like you read it.
I mean, I haven't liked dealing with eBay because for the longest time I couldn't figure out PayPal, and eBay is almost an exact extension of PayPal now.
Yeah, they merged and just have the most
Yeah.
incestuous relationship.
Yeah, so
But-
that's why I stayed away from eBay for so long.
Which I get and I understand. I even approve to a certain extent, but you know, sometimes you can't beat them. You got to join them.
Right.
It is what it is.
For the
So-
company, I had to my first time opening up a PayPal account in about 15 years.
You get the point.
Right.
So the point being is make sure you read the terms of service, because come to find out, when I literally called the eBay representatives, like, no, sir, this is what it is. I can go ahead and, if you like, send you this link. I will email it to you. And if you have a problem, please feel free to call back. Read it. It was clear as day. Wasn't being mean. And I'm just like, there's nothing I can do. I have to do what? Eat some humble pie and take this L. And if you ever eat humble pie, you don't like the taste, because you know there's more coming.
It is the worst.
So the point I'm getting at is, if you do utilize some sort of means to sell stuff, and you know there's tons of places out there that are online, some whatever it is, eBay being arguably one of the most popular. Have your receipts, have your pictures, make sure to go ahead and send it. And the other thing I think that probably would happen, if you have to repackage something because it doesn't quite fit, repackage the damn thing. I went ahead and packaged it in the envelope, and it was kind of bulky, but it fit. Repack the damn thing. Do it correctly. Well, what's the old joke? You got the time to do it twice, but you ain't got the time to do it right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I ended up eating about $30 just because I was rushing through and I didn't get everything done. So now I learned I'm going to do what? Make sure to have my daggone receipts, have my pictures, and I'm going to package it properly and do it correctly. So I learned a lesson. Did you learn a lesson?
Yeah, I hope somebody healed up after that.
Now my bank account. I need to go sell some more crap to go ahead and recover. So yeah, with that said, hopefully this is a learning lesson where you don't have to go ahead and learn things the hard way like I did. Do you have anything else you want to add, Brother Wolf?
Think it's closing time.
With that said, this is YNB Collins, joined with
Brother Wolf.
We're the Benchmark Podcast, where you just saw another one of my illustrious failures, but hopefully you can learn from this so you don't have to do it as well. Cheers, guys. Thank you for listening to the Benchmark Podcast, a product of Benchmark Media, LLC. We would like to remind our listeners that the views and opinions expressed are strictly the views and opinions of each individual and does not reflect the stance of Benchmark Media. Any opinion stated is not to be construed as professional advice or help. Our intro and outro
But
music
thankfully we are
is
wearing
Acid
pants.
Trumpet by Kevin MacLeod, licensed under Creative Commons. Contact us at therealbenchmarkpodcast@gmail.com.
Thank you, Kevin.
Or our website, www.therealbenchmarkpodcast.com.
Yes.
Donate to us, paypal.me/benchmarkmediallc,
Please.
or the Cash App, $TheRealBenchmark. Thank you very much.
Okay, you can buy him a drink on this one.
Just this one?